Hey, what's up everybody? It's Jesse from Aesthetics, and behind me right here is my 2003 Subaru Forester, my daily driver, and the subject of my newest series on YouTube where I'm going to take you guys through pretty much everything under the sun when it comes to detailing a vehicle. What I'm going to do is tell you a little bit about the history of the vehicle, how we got to this place, and what you can expect in the upcoming series, and kind of how I'll break the episodes down piece by piece. So for starters, it's a 2003 Subaru Forester. I bought this thing used in August of 2020, and it had about 110,000 miles on it. I'm filming this now in January of 2022. This thing has 130,000 miles on it. So, for about 20,000 miles here, I've gotten familiar with the car, and for most of that time, been taking pretty good care of it. In fact, it was on basically the same maintenance regimen as my WRX. I've been washing it regular since the day I got it. The day I got it, I put it through, of course, a full detail, decontaminated everything, went through the interior, and made this thing feel as new as possible to me, who was buying it at a point where it was already 17 years old. And there was a point where I just kind of stopped maintaining it, and there was some intent with that. For a while now, I've been using the Optimum cleaning system. I've been using O&R, a couple of different ways, Gary Dean method, the UBS sponge, and I've also been protecting this with OptiSeal, which is their standalone paint sealant. They claim 6 months of durability on it. I would apply it once every 3 months or so and just kind of stay on top of it. But in June or maybe early July of 2021, right before I bought this house, putting a layer of OptiSeal on this was the last thing that I did when I detailed with it. And the reason why is because I wanted to see if their 6-month claim of durability would actually hold true on this, because it's so easy when you're running a business to just kind of regurgitate these things to customers because that's what the bottle says or that's what the company says. You saw someone else say it online. But there's a different level of conviction that you can speak with when you've actually put something through its paces and seen firsthand how it behaves and what's the level of degradation like, especially here on Long Island with all the different elements that we see. And when I applied it in late June or early July of 2021, it was the heat of summer. We get days 85, 90 degrees pretty regularly. I know it's not Phoenix, Arizona heat, but it's pretty high heat. Then we go into fall. We tend to deal with some tropical storms here and there, hurricanes, like that type of weather. And then we get right into winter. It snows, they're putting stuff down on the road, and you're getting a lot of gross grime and just general dirt on the car. So over those 6 months, I would say for the first 3, you couldn't really tell much of a difference. Water behavior, great, tight beating. It stayed looking clean for a pretty long time. It looks better than most cars on the road that are half its age, frankly. Maybe I'm a little biased on that. But around month 4, you can kind of start to see some of the water behavior changes. It's not beating as tightly, especially on the parts that are facing the sky, roof, the hood. And then going into month 5 and 6, beating is gone, water's sticking to the surface when it rains, it's sheeting off really slowly, and you can just notice a little bit of hydrophobic behavior on things like the quarter panel and doors. So when they say 6 months, it lasts for 6 months. I'm going to continue to use it because not every single one of my customers is coming in for a ceramic coating, and that OptiSeal is just efficient with the time, easy to apply, no buffing off, and I know I'm going to get some pretty great durability out of it. But that means that now this thing is a mess. You can already see I've got a little bit of winter road grime here, some of the salt on the roads. It's just generally dirty. And so as far as the exterior goes, what we're going to do is break everything down, starting with how to wash a car. We're going to decontaminate it using clay bars. I have clay mitts. I'll show you guys a little bit of both. We're going to do a wheel and tire cleaning series. We're going to pop open the hood, get the engine bay cleaned up, show you guys how to do that. I have some foggy headlights that I'm going to restore so they're nice and clear. And this car's got a ton of black trim, so we're going to get that cleaned up, and we're also going to restore it. So I'll show you what I'm using. I'll probably experiment with some products that I haven't tried before and get that on video. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I do have glass parency. I have their windshield coating on the windshield there. It's only about a year old, so that's still good for another couple of years. But I'm going to do it on the rest of the windows, the sides and the back, and so we'll get into a glass parency segment as well. And that'll be the exterior. In addition to that, we're going to kick things up another level and we're gonna get into paint correction and ceramic coating. So I'm not gonna put any more OptiSeal on this. I'm gonna get some of the swirls and imperfections out of the paint. It's not in terrible condition. Like I said, I think this car is in better shape than a lot of cars on the road half its age, but it's got the typical stuff, you know, from its previous life. I'm sure this guy was taking it through drive-through car washes, or, you know, automatic car wash tunnels, things like that. And so in the right lighting, you know, you can see some of that stuff. We're gonna get that all polished out, and then we're gonna lock in a beautiful finish with a ceramic coating. I'll break that down into one-step polishing, or what some people might call a paint enhancement, two-step paint corrections, all right, and then the ceramic coating itself. But that'll pretty much wrap up the outside. Now the inside, all right, that's the other half of this story. It's the messiest one of my cars has ever been. And not only have I neglected the outside for 6 months, but I wanted to see, well, how dirty would my car get on the inside if I wasn't cleaning it and maintaining it regularly? And I'm not throwing shade at anybody, but I know that's what the average driver is pretty much doing. You know, this is just a hunk of metal with wheels and wires that kind of gets them from A to B. It's not something that they're too keen on cleaning and taking care of the way they do some of the other things. And so, you know, what do? You tend to eat in your car. You tend to drop things and forget about them, and they get, you know, trapped in that endless hole between the seat and the gear shifter, and who knows what's hiding under your seat, right? So not only that, but I do work out of this car. I drive this for my full-time sales job. I use it for the detailing business. I use it for general errands, grocery shopping, and just kind of running around town. I use this for everything a normal person uses. And yeah, if you don't clean it for 6 months, it's not gonna look great. So you guys will get to see some of that stuff. So we're gonna pull the rubber mats out. I've got all-weather mats. I'm gonna show you guys how to clean those properly. We're gonna shampoo all of the carpets and the seats, and I'll show you guys how to deep clean those and the types of protection you can put on them to keep them cleaner for longer, give you some resistance and protection against spills and stains, and, you know, if that's the case, what that protection does in order to make things easier for you to clean in the future. We're gonna clean all the hard surfaces, the dashboard, door panels, center console, anything that's like trim, plastic, vinyl, things like that. Show you guys how to do some generic stuff, quick, easy ways to wipe down your car and kind of refresh it, all the way through deep cleaning and conditioning, using the steamer, and even some of the stuff I use on those materials to keep those looking great and protect them and resist things like UV fading, cracking, especially you know, as these cars get older. This thing's almost 20 years old here. But you know, generally speaking, I think that's it. If there's anything you guys can think of that I didn't mention that you would like to see, drop me a comment below. I know there's other things you can do out there. Wet sanding, applying paint protection film. Those are things that I'm just not gonna be doing on this car. It's not to say that they can't come in a different series or videos down the line somewhere, but for all intents and purposes with the car I have here, we're probably not gonna be covering those things. But if you have some specific questions, right? Hey man, when you do the interior, like, how do you get like that sticky stuff out of cup holders? Or what do you do about the headliner? You know, is there something that you do for X, Y, and Z? Put that stuff in the comments. I promise I'll read that stuff. I'll comment back. I'll get back to you guys, and I'll make sure that it makes it into a future video. And speaking of the future videos, if you don't want to miss any of them, make sure you subscribe to the Ion Aesthetics YouTube channel and hit that notification bell as well, and you'll get notified when I upload a new video, and you won't miss anything that's going to be coming in the future. And lastly, as we wrap this up, give this video a thumbs up if you like what you're seeing and if you're looking forward to the stuff that's coming down the line. But I'm going to wrap it up for now. I'm Jesse from Ion Aesthetics. This is my 2003 Subaru Forester in the worst condition that it's been since I've got it, and shouldn't be looking like this too much longer. So I'll check in with you guys soon. Looking forward to the next one. Peace.